Welcome to the show that takes up no more than 5 minutes of your time, but could help you gain massive real estate knowledge. It's 5 Minutes in Real Estate with best-selling author Shane Willis.
Hello, Pensacola real estate expert Shane Willis here, bringing you today's episode of 5 Minutes in Real Estate. Today I want to talk to you about what it takes to buy a property, and I mean by income-wise. My son had a couple of friends asking me questions. My son's going to turn 21 this year. God knows that's tough for me to believe that I have a 21-year-old. Seems like just yesterday I was in college. Okay, sorry, needed to take a second there. Anyways. So they were asking me, hey, how much income does it take really to buy a property? And I was explaining there's different stuff around the state in our area. And so I found it funny that last night, I get multiple reports from multiple areas. They came out with a study on the income levels it takes to buy a property per state. I just found it ironic, the timing, actually. So the state of Florida actually says the average income to buy a property, to buy a median house, is $53,000, or $52,000 a year. So you need to be making $52,000 a year. But I thought about that and I went, wait a minute, you start looking at Florida, you're looking at the wages in Central and South Florida, which are higher, so is cost of living, than we are here in the Panhandle. So I looked at our neighboring states. Georgia showed up at $42,000. Of course, that had to encompass Atlanta. Alabama, here comes the wind again. I must be going and recording this podcast. Alabama's $33,000. That's the average income it takes to buy a property in Alabama. Now, I would venture to say, that's going to cost more. You start getting into Baldwin County towards the beaches, obviously that's going to cost more. But, and I think everybody and their brother knows when I'm going to record this podcast because we got to fire up the lawn equipment and the wind shows up. And so forgive the background noise. As for those of you who have listened to the show, sometimes I breathe a little heavier. It's because I'm walking the neighborhood as I record this. Anyways, let's get back to topic. So the topic was, how much does it take? So as I looked at the averages here, we're closer to that Alabama number. And it was because of one of the reports, I want to say Zillow came out with it. I'll make sure I put it in the show notes. That the average income percentage, hang on, I'm going to hit pause and walk past this lawn equipment so it doesn't get too much of a background. All right, so here we go again. We've walked a little bit past that. Of course, they had to break out the chainsaw as I'm walking by. But that goes to show you, if you're recording podcasts, it doesn't take a fancy studio to do it. I do this every morning on my iPhone. Anyways, so we're closer to the $33,000 a year to buy properties just because of the cost of living and the cost of real estate here. But that report that I saw come out said that on average, it usually takes about 21 to 22% of the household income to pay for the mortgage. But where rates are right now, it's only 17.8%. So as we continue to see rates rise, which, as I'm telling you right now, we're going to continue to see that. You can mark my words. Here we are, April 2018. We're going to see rates in the next few years back in the 5s and 6s. You're just going to have to. It's going to continue to rise. They're kind of stabled in the mid 4s right now. But you're not getting that 3% that you did a couple of years ago. So, the average income right now is going to take about $33,000 in our area. That's it. That's all. So if you're kind of on the fence on whether or not you can afford it, let's get in touch with a mortgage lender. Take a look. Because if you did $33,000 a year, that's what, $2,500 a month. Maybe a little over let's see, what would that be, $2,700 a month? Anyways, if you're paying $800-900 a month in rent, $1,000 a month in rent, that's a third of your income. That's $12,000 a year in your income being paid towards rent, not building you any equity. And if you listened to yesterday's show, I talked about how we're expecting about 3 to 5% appreciation a year for the next 5 years. So 15, 18% appreciation. Or you can continue to pay the rent and throw it out the window. So that was just to answer the question that my son's friends brought up. What does it take right now? It's probably going to take somewhere around $30,000 to $35,000 a year in annual income. That's going to qualify you for a nice property. Are there some other properties that you could get maybe cheaper? Yes, there are. But on average, we're trying to play with the averages here. $30,000 to $35,000 a year. That would be the first step. All right, that's what I got for you today. As always, if you have not subscribed to get our tips, tricks, graphs, links to some of the reports that I mentioned in these podcasts, get over to 5minutesinrealestate.com. It's 5minutesinrealestate.com. Also, if you have not subscribed to the podcast on both iTunes or Google Play, we're on both. Get over to your player of choice, hit subscribe. Would love a thumbs up and a comment. Be nice. Finally, if you found value in this or any other episode, as always, I don't ask for any payment for these, but I do ask you to share it on social media. Thanks for listening. Have a fantastic Wednesday.